Sorry.
Yes. Now, all this
that it has resulted in a wildlife park and in a lodge. Let's bring all the motorbike ambulances, including the new tuk-tuk, up to him. Let's show him what can be done when people work together. Let's try and get Kate Airy to that meeting, the British High Commissioner, and let me and Jane try to bring our MP over here for that meeting, and we show our government and your government the incredible thing that's developed in Bali, and then we avoid giving Gaynor a heart attack by asking them to give us the £500,000 needed to buy another 80 new motorbike ambulances, rather than us trying to find £500,000 as a small organisation and taking 5 years. They could ask the World Health Organization. They could ask the International Monetary Fund. They can bring in Bill Gates, right? And we could have our 18 new motorbike ambulances in a year if we get that level of politicians on board. So if you are happy to consider working towards this with us, Umukuuka. The other thing that myself and Jane have already thought about is asking for an audience with Sir Keir Starmer, either before he becomes Prime Minister or just after, so we can help to influence British policy. We want to get away from British overseas development money being spent in the old colonial fashion. We want it to be used to channel into organisations that are nationally based and are helping your own people. So look, I think that might be this year is the time to think big, Umukuuka.
Yes, please.
And if you work with
Madam Melanie, when I was in London, when I was in Wales, I requested for a museum development. I want to members who are here to clap for Madam Melanie. Melanie, she had come with full force to come and help us to develop a museum. And I'm happy to note that her husband is an architect who is also willing to give us the design. Bamasaba, we shall now be rebranding Bamasaba. Bamasaba is not going to be a small little side. We are rebranding Bamasaba from this Kuba Navale Banakuya and for Patera Command. Then Balomba Seti, Nini, Monja Kusavila Valley, Vazikavi, Muti, Yoga, Batuli, Bonavala Milabatu, meeting, Babit Sayunan, Masaba, Konja, Sironko, and Rambuli. So we must thank them for that. These 21 years of close collaboration with our brothers and sisters from Wales has increased our knowledge exchange, both in culture and the technology, medically. When you hear that we are now having a World Wildlife Center in Bugisu, Bamasaba are not small people, but they have never thought of that, of having a wildlife center. And it is people who came from Wales who partnered with us, and we are now having a center here, which is a center of excellence in wildlife issues. They have come here also, they have promoted technology transfer. Yesterday I was very, very pleased to be the guest of honor at the official launching of Tuk-Tuk ambulance. It's a prototype which has been generated or built by Bamasaba here in Bali. And the people who have been supporting us are our brothers and sisters from Wales. So that one is a big achievement. Because of all these interactions, I felt last night that now Dr. Jeff should be appointed as our extraordinary ambassador to the Wales government. You have really exhibited consistency and a compassion for the people of Bamasaba. In ourselves, in order to enable us to have viable connections. These connections have now created what we call Pont in Bugisu. But Pont is now expanding, as he has said, to the entire Bugisu sub-region. This must be appreciated in the strongest terms possible, because when you hear of 1,440 trained health workers, if you go to those areas, life has changed. Now, it means we should not allow this to go to waste. As leaders of this area, we must keep monitoring. We must develop mechanism of helping these 1,440 workers who are helping us on the side of medical innovations. So I challenge the local governments, especially the LC5 chairpersons, that they come forward and benefit from these interventions being brought by our sisters and brothers from Wales. We should actually work very, very closely by even sharing their reports. I implore Dr. Jeff, that as a cultural institution, it would be very good for us also to know exactly what you are doing in the communities. You could share with us your either annual reports or quarterly reports, so that when we meet, like now His Excellency the President, we shall say the things are turning well in Bugisu because of the efforts of this organization. And as you have rightly put it, we must interlock with the politicians to ensure that coordination is complete. We should not be mistaken that maybe we are bringing in projects which are propagating maybe hate in society. You know, we have issues of that nature where the philanthropists fund hate speech. They even fund extremism in some areas. But yours is community-based support. So we must be supported by the government of Uganda. We should be given a lot of support and care. Where possible, they can borrow all of your knowledge and translate it to other areas of the nation. We should not only be static. Now, this is a challenge to my ministers. The ministers who are been appointed, who are hardly 1 month in office, I want to give them these areas so that they take these areas very seriously. The one who handles wildlife issues should promote the wildlife center extensively. Propagate wherever you go for a meeting, send a message that we have a wildlife center in Mbale. The one who's on food security, livelihood, education should look at the interventions being propagated or being extended to us through Port. I was happy that they have extended their services to education area, and they are talking about also establishing an IT hub in our region. I was talking with Mr. Watulanzu, who had structures sometime built for a school. I told him, why don't we now have this place be turned into an IT hub, and we look for funding so that our people benefit. He willingly surrendered it to me, and I'm going to start embarking on it through my Minister of Education and Skills, so that we use it as an IT center, IT hub. I was even very impressed when they talked about focusing on building capacity for women, and above all, girl child. We had a problem of children getting pregnant when they are 12 years, 13 years. Now we have irresponsible parents. a mother of 12 years or 13 cannot be responsible to me. And also we have a problem with younger boys who are also fathers. At 16, he is a father of a wife of 12 years. Can I preside over a society of this nature? So I am appealing to my Minister of Education. That's why we have a skilling element to ensure that we bring out these children so that they benefit from these skills, which can help transform them to be good citizens. And we shall have help. What's something which pleased me? You are looking at vulnerable children and families where you even provide only one goat, but that goat has transformed that home. It is not something we should underrate. Why can't we also expand from that? And we ensure that those homes which are vulnerable are helped through this type of intervention. The partnership of children with those, now she said she has 100 of schools where there is close partnership with schools abroad. It's not only being on the phone talking that they are learning. We are grooming children to become good citizens. I was in Japan sometime 5 years ago, but when I looked at their population, the children, when even if it gets on the road and it reaches the zebra crossing, he bows. Then I asked who taught them this good discipline. After crossing, he turns back and does what? It means the intervention of parents from childhood has transformed Japan to be one of the most disciplined nations in the world. So why don't we also now, as a cultural institution, who are directly linking up with the population, work on improving discipline and character so that we can get good citizens by using the interventions being brought up by Pont. Going back to the diaspora Bamasaba, that I have their chairperson here. Can you stand up for the commission? That one is Mr. Matalesi. Michael is the chairperson of Bamasaba in UK, and he has spent over 40 years in UK. Now, if in 40 years in UK, if they could have been contributing only £5 per annum, and there are about 3,000 of them in the UK, how many ambulances could we be having here? Yes. So, the challenge is to you people who got educated from us who are peasants, and educated you are now in those overseas. You are enjoying those people's sweat, planning. For them, they think for 30 years ahead. I implore our members who are in the diaspora to kindly help us with your competences in order to transform this cultural institution and the Bamasaba at large.
Our visitors from Wales, this is the climax. I think today is the climax of your visit. You have seen from wherever we have gone. We were in Uweri the other day. You were overwhelmed by the people who were there. Today, the presence of all these people signifies that we are greatly grateful. Jeff enumerated a number of interventions, Wildlife Center. I think this is going to be the first one in this region. Many of our children have never seen these animals physically. Not only children, but even us. We are going to have a free chance to see them here. The livelihoods, they are changing the entire land of Masaba. Health has improved. Women are now getting some bits of money, in the household. I think this is very, very good for our team. Education, primary health care, the ambulances, all these are making a fundamental change. We only want to pray as you go back that Labour Party wins there. Because when Labour Party wins, we are going to be strategically placed to work with that government, and we shall achieve a lot for our region. So you are most welcome once again. We thank you, and when you go back, please, we are praying that whatever plans you have, they all succeed. Thank you.
We have the Commission of Museum and the Chairman Imbal Culture Board. We will be the leading people as we get to Mutoto to help us understand Mutoto with the guidance of the Prime Minister.